It's Janine Henwood from the VA Finishing School and VA Celebrity Virtual Services. I am going to speak to Gisel Hernandez today about how she has built her business, her lessons over the time that she's had her business, and what she's going through currently. And then Gisel is going to tell us all about her business and or give us her best advice on how to start a virtual assistant business and how to follow these steps so that you don't make the same mistakes that Gisel has made and the same mistakes that I've made and probably a lot of other virtual assistants. So I'm really excited to speak to Gisel today. I'm going to introduce her to you guys, and this is going to be a great one. Hi Gisel, how are you?
I am well. How are you, Janine?
I'm doing very well, thank you. I'm so excited to have you in this interview today because I think that the topics that you're going to be discussing with us are super, super important and very applicable to new virtual assistants.
Yes.
So I'm really looking forward to this. Will you start off just telling us a little bit about your business, who you are, where you live, and what brought you to the world of virtual assistants?
Okay, so thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here with you guys today and to be here talking to you, Janine, about this morning. But so as you guys know, I'm Gisel Hernandez, and I am the founder of Your Virtual Clone. And so what we do is I provide HR consulting services as well as online business management services to small business owners. And so what brought me here? Well, honestly, this is take two for me, guys. I initially tried to start my virtual assistant business back in 2011. At that point in time, I realized that I was not prepared. I did not have a business plan, and honestly, I did not know who my target client was. That was not very successful. So this is take two for me. And so what happened was at the end of last year, I started working with a client and, someone who called me and said, hey, can you help with this? And then this became that. And 6 months later, we're still working together. And it made me realize that, hey, why don't I try this, again? This time I was much more prepared in terms of my HR knowledge, as well as I did have a business plan. So lesson number one for you guys is I started out with a business plan in March. I created my website and I went live. And honestly, I have connected with some very great clients, but it's mostly in the general administrative assistant space, which is a space that I am excited about. However, my passion lies in human resources, right? And so I started to ask myself, why am I not reaching these clients, right? And so I've been a part of Janine's group for some time now. So I start looking at resources. There's another group that I belong to. I start looking at resources and I'm like, two problems, guys. One, my target client isn't as defined as I thought it was, right? And so I'm not reaching that client. And then two, my business plan, again, because I created all these strategies for this target client, did not align with some of the things that I was doing. So my social media messaging, my website. And so I'm going to fast forward through some of that. So I actually took off kind of hit the pause button. I have only 2 clients right now. And so I am able to hit the pause button, okay, because we'll talk about this later on, but you do need to have a backup plan. So I kind of hit the pause button on working on my business so that I could go back and refocus on my client and my business plan so I could reach the client that I want to reach. And so that started out with what is my messaging, changing my website, et cetera, et cetera. So lesson number one for you guys is be sure that you have a business plan and be sure that you have spent enough time defining your target client, because if not, you're going to be like me, where I've spent the last 4 months of my life sending out all this really cute, nice, beautiful social media messaging to the wrong people because I was fishing for the whole wide world instead of my target client and not attracting my target client. So that's lesson number one. So lesson number two is when you are a virtual assistant and you are in this business, this is a very lonely industry. it is so important that you join groups like this one, the VA Finishing School. But more importantly, guys, be engaged. When there are questions, answer those questions. If you have a question, ask the question, and you are going to create your own network of people, because I'm going to tell you it is lonely, and people outside of, you and I, my family, my friends, when I tell them what I do, they're just scratching their head and they're looking at me like, that's cute. When is she going to go back to getting a real job? Right. So it's really important for you to really build your own network. You're going to be lonely, and some days are very, very lonely, especially if you have family situations going on, and your family may not understand, right? So for example, me, I've had some recent situations going on, and back in the day, I could just talk to my boss and somebody would kick in and my job would be taken care of, right? Well, as a small business owner, you are it. And so if you don't have someone to cover for you, then you're losing clients, right? And that's going to make a difficult situation even more difficult. However, if you belong to a group like this one, if you reach out and you're engaged and you reach out to the people in this group who are experienced, like Janine, who can give you some advice on, hey, Giselle, this is what you can or cannot do. This is what you should do. This is how you continue to work on your business while dealing with your personal issues. You'll have someone who understands what you're going through and he can give you some good feedback. Okay. Because honestly, some of the people in my family are like, well, why don't you just go back to a real job and then you can take vacation, not worry about it. Well, that's not an option for me. So that's going to lead me to point number 3, which is, what is your why? What made you say, this is what I want to do? A lot of you are still working your 9 to 5 while being a virtual assistant, right? So why are you doing that? Why are you working 16, 17, 18 hours a day to pursue this dream? And if you have left a corporate role, or if you've left your 9 to 5 to do this, what is your why? Because your why is going to get you through those times when you're tired, when you have personal issues going on in your life, and that you need to do more and push yourself more in order to continue to pursue your passion, which is your virtual assistant business, right? So just make sure that you have a business plan, make sure that you are engaged and you build your network of support. The VA Finishing School is an excellent place. If you don't belong to any other group, make sure that you become very active in this one. And I'm going to tell you, I initially signed up for like a bajillion groups, but I'm selective about where I engage. So make sure that where you're engaging, you are really building your network and you're really investing your time, because these people are going to be future collaborators. Here I am sitting across from Janine, doing something that when I started, I didn't think I was going to be able to do. So just make sure that you're doing that. And then the last point is going to be, oh my God, be patient, right? In your 9 to 5, you've been successful. If you come from a corporate role, you've been successful enough the way you feel confident walking away from that and doing this, right? So with that patience comes confidence. You have to be confident in your skill. You have to be confident in your abilities. You have to refer to your business plan, right? And be able to stay focused, because you know your why, but be patient, okay? I graduated from U of H, and I'm not even going to tell you guys, because then you'll know how I am, but I graduated from college and I didn't become a manager overnight, right? It took me, I think it was 4 or 5 years to get there, right? So just have realistic expectations and set realistic goals for yourself, and just continue to work your plan. Don't give up, okay? I do know some of you ladies or gentlemen may be single parents and you're like, Giselle, I may have to give up because I need some income and I'm not getting clients, right? And my question to you would be, have you tried one more time before giving up? And can you get up? So one of the things I'm doing, I'm just going to share, I put some money aside, and I see that money dwindling, and I'm okay because I put some money aside for a full year to do this. But I've decided that I'm going to go get a part-time job. And so, because I want to make sure that I have income coming in, but this is going to be my full-time passion, because again, I know my why and I know that I need to be patient. Okay. So just make sure that if you're a new virtual assistant, or if you're an existing virtual assistant who is struggling, make sure that you go back and you ask yourself, who is my target client? is my business plan defined? Reach out to your support network, and then make sure that you are being patient with yourself, right? If you know your target client, you're going to know when their habits change. Okay, because I keep referring to this example, but 19-year-old Gisel wouldn't shop where I shop today, wouldn't do the things that I do today, right? But if you stay connected to your target client, and if you stay connected to the VA finishing school, guys, Deneen is doing most of the legwork for you, okay? She's out there, she's getting information, she's giving you resources that you need in order to flourish, right? So she's doing a lot of the legwork for you, but you know, you got to take it upon yourself. You're going to get from any group that you belong to, whether that's in personal, professional life, whatever it is that you put in. So Janine, that's my advice to any, you know, up and coming virtual assistant, or even to a virtual assistant who may be experiencing a dry season. Do you have, is there anything that I may have missed?
Great topics there, Gisel. Really, really good. Covered them really, really well. I do hear that we have a little echo. I hope that it's going to go away in a minute. But anyway, I really, really loved how you broke those things down, and you sort of referred them to your personal experiences as a virtual assistant, because like I mentioned before, these are things that a lot of even established virtual assistants, by established, I don't necessarily mean successful. Established does not mean successful. Sure. There are virtual assistants who have been around for a good couple of years, and they are not necessarily successful. Yeah. So, I mean, you know, we have, like Gisel said, we have to figure things out for ourselves. We are the ones that have to create our business plans. We have to get really, really clear on who exactly it is that we want to work with, so that we know that that's who we are going to be focusing on. Like Gisel, when I started my virtual assistant business, my ideal client was 1 million people. It wasn't just one person. And I really, really struggled to connect and find that ideal client equals 1 million, because I didn't really know who that was. By saying I work with, right, so when I started up, I wanted to work with bloggers and influencers, right? Listen to this, in the food, travel, and fashion industry. I mean, how vague is that? That is like, could be anybody really, because so many people have a blog, and so many people blog about travel and fashion and you know, food. So who exactly is that? How on earth was I going to find these clients? Because I didn't really know exactly who it was. I couldn't tweak and really create a message for that one person, because that message was going to get lost long before I even reached that person. So like Gisel, I had to go back to the drawing board. I had to shut down my website. I had to really take a long, hard look at my business and what it really was that I wanted to offer, because this was another thing that I really struggled with. I didn't really know what services I wanted to offer. I knew that I wanted to have my own business. I knew that I wanted to be a virtual assistant. I knew that I wanted to help other business owners in their businesses, but exactly help with what, I didn't know. So I really took a long, hard look, and I went back and looked at my experience, and I looked at my passion, which is marketing. And so VA Celebrity Virtual Services, as we know it today, was born, even though I've been in business now for, I think it's going on 18 months. I have rebranded 3 times, and I don't just mean the colors and the logo. I mean the website, the ideal client, the service, everything. Yeah. So I finally listened to what people were telling me about finding your ideal client, really identifying their age, gender, where they lived, you know, everything, what they like to eat for breakfast. Like, you have to really define your ideal client. Don't for a second think that you're going to lose out on business or you're going to lose out on clients if you really niche down your services, or if you really focus and hone in on that ideal client. It's not going to happen. You are more inclined to completely miss out on clients if you don't define your ideal client. And that's what happened to me, and that's what happened to Gisel. So I'm so excited that she actually came online today and told us about her story, because, you know, a lot of virtual assistants, when they don't find that success in their business, they keep trying, they keep saying, you know, or talking about themselves as virtual assistants, and they keep trying to get successful in their business, but they're not honest about their story. They're not honest about exactly where they are in business, and that really prevents them from actually getting successful, because you can't be honest in your current situation and say, look, I need help. I actually don't know what it is that I'm doing or where I'm going, so I do need help. If you can't be honest with yourself about that, then you are going to struggle. And I'm not saying it happens to everybody. I'm very generalizing when I talk about virtual assistants. Please don't think that you're not going to be successful because I said so. It's not the case. And we're just trying to prepare you and let you know the reality of the business, because, you know, you do get virtual assistants and other online business owners who say, you know, I earned 6 figures in 1 month from launching. Well, it's not realistic and it's not true. It's a marketing ploy, guys. It's a marketing ploy. So please shut your ears to all that and just focus on you and your business.
Yes.
Like Gisel said, business plan. Business plan is important. I had a wishy-washy business plan that it took me 5 minutes to put together, and that was a good indication of why I didn't know what the hell I was doing, but where I was going in my business, who I was serving, and what I was helping them with. I mean, I just didn't know. So how on earth would those clients know? And so I did. I, like Gisel, had to go back and, you know, create a proper business plan for my business and get really, you know, clear on my goals and clear on my ideal clients. And I had to really sit down and focus on what it is that I want to do in my virtual assistant business. So, Gisel, apart from these 4 points that you covered, which are excellent points, what is your #1 best tip that you can give to virtual assistants? New virtual assistants.
New virtual assistants. Okay. It's going to be the network. You need to connect. You need to engage, because it is a very lonely world working at home in your PJs 9, 10, 12 hours a day. So build your network.
Yes, absolutely. 100% agree with you. I will again refer back to my own experience as a virtual assistant. I live in the Seychelles, which is a small island nation in the Indian Ocean, and I don't have a large friends network here who I can go out and see and network with, you know, face-to-face, one-on-one, like in person. So a lot of my friendships are online, right? And I have made some really, really amazing connections with other virtual assistants like Gisel and Anissa and Monica and Lisa and everybody that I've interviewed so far, as well as a lot of the virtual assistants in the group and also other groups. I've really made good, strong connections with those virtual assistants, and it's really helped me get through the days where I'm very lonely or I have a question and I just cannot find the right, you know, Google is brilliant. You can find anything on Google, but Google can also be very vague. So if you really need to know that like clear, defined answer, then the best thing to do is ask a VA friend, right? When we join groups and we engage and we connect with other virtual assistants, they are our virtual assistant friends. I don't consider people that I meet and socialize with online or in groups, as a stranger. I think of them as a friend within the virtual assistant industry, because we all start at the same point, right? We all go through the same motions in our businesses. We all have the same pain points, problems, and issues that we have to deal with, and we all need to find the same answers. So why not reach out to virtual assistants? Why not make a connection, and don't be embarrassed to ask questions. Groups, Facebook groups like our group here, is designed and built for that specific reason. This is why I started this group, so that we can support each other. I always talk about my Facebook community because it's more than just a group. It's a support structure for you as a virtual assistant. So Gisel, I'm so pleased to have spoken to you today live here in the group. And I think that a lot of people that have watched and will watch the replay will get great value from this. And guys, if you have any questions for Gisel after the interview, please feel free to connect with her. She's a lovely person, like you see, and she's happy to answer any questions you have. Equally, if you have a question for me, or you just have a general question, go ahead and ask it in the group. We are now more than 600 members strong and counting, which is awesome. And the community consists of both new and established virtual assistants. And, we've all had our own experiences, and we all have things and stories to share with you. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much, Gisel. Thank you very much for joining us. And we will both catch you back in the group. Bye.
Bye.